G'day viewers, my name's Graeme Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do.
Well, hi viewers, and welcome back to Colour in Your Life, and also welcome back to the studio of an amazingly talented man, Barry. Great to see you again, mate.
Graeme.
This is sensational. The last time Barry was on was about 12 months ago, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, and Barry and Lucy had such a phenomenal reaction to your show, or both of your shows, that you said you had emails coming in from over a week or something.
Amazing response, and we have to thank you. It was truly. It was lovely. It was a huge compliment. We ended up getting so many emails and phone calls, and we thought that a lot of those were asking questions that weren't attributed to the last episode. So what I wanted to do this time was answer some of those questions,
Sure,
using the paints and mediums that I do, and that's what most of the questions were
yeah,
about.
definitely. I mean, obviously there's so much that's involved, and you sort of look at all of the mediums that Chroma produces, and the fact that you use interactives.
Yep.
Lucy uses free-flowing watercolours.
Yep.
But obviously there's just so much, and it really does get confusing. But because Barry, I would think he and Lucy are probably two of the best teachers in the country, you're going to take us through that today, and we're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff.
What I've done is I've got a painting that's mostly done, but I wanted to show. A lot of the questions were the process of painting. So what I wanted to do is show little things, if you like. There's areas that aren't completed. So today what I'm going to do is I'm using Atelier interactive paints, and these are, I hate calling them acrylics. They are acrylics, but they are and they aren't. Acrylics traditionally are very fast drying paint, and with interactive I can control the drying time. So if I add things like mediums or water, I can keep the blending time open. There's a lot of mediums. I've got a large range of mediums, but today what I want to do is concentrate on just one or two mediums and really show you one particular medium that I love. It's my favourite medium out of all of them. The other main thing with interactive is obviously this fine mist water sprayer. If you can constantly keep your paints moist, they'll last. I put these out in the morning and they last all day long. The thing that I've seen in the past is that with acrylics, you put them out and they skin over, dry, scrape them off, squeeze out more paints. With interactive, I don't have to do that. I squeeze them out once in the morning, they keep moist all day long.
Part of what you do is building the atmosphere in your pictures as well.
Yeah, the inspiration is basically the light. I love that idea of warm versus cool. There's a warm side of the painting, a cool side of the painting. So I want to show you guys how I go about setting that up, because I think that's important.
All right, well let's go on. We're going to have a look at that, and then
We'll do some painting.
Excellent. Okay.
So my favourite genre of painting is obviously figurative work, and so with regards to setting up the photo, I get a model in this case it's a gorgeous, lovely lady, and then what we do is we set up the lighting. The main reason I want to paint the painting, the figure, is because the effect light has on matter. In this case what I did was we used the props that are around our home, and I put in a warm light and a cool light. Warm light obviously with the candles, and the cool light I made up and it was a fake light. So what I did was I put Lucianne in different positions, and then I'm giving her props with wine glasses and the candles obviously, but the wine glass is there as a light breaking the dark. And I make sure that her hand is in a way that leads the viewer's eye in. So I then actually told her where to put her nose, where to place her eyes, so that I'm the director. I'm controlling what I want to happen, where the light is bouncing off her nose, where the light's bouncing off her cheek, where the light's bouncing off her clothes. And so I'm setting all of that up as I'm doing the photo. The main thing that I wanted to capture in the photography was that chiaroscuro look, that beautiful light versus dark, how wonderful painters like Rembrandt and Caravaggio and John Singer Sargent to an extent had that beautiful effect of light, that beautiful dark versus light. Okay, because this show was designed around showing some of the products and the mediums from Chroma Company, one that I just love is sometimes you might forget to wash your brush out, and what happens is you get this clag on the end of this brush. Anyway, Mr. Cobb has come up with this great product. It's called Incredible Brush Cleaner. And now, when I read that,
Yeah, okay.
I thought, yeah, that's pretty gutsy to put that on there. But you know what?
It is.
It actually is incredible. It's brilliant. So what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate how good that is. You saw how hard that was. Like, that's set rock solid. So I'm just going to put the brush into a little decanted amount, and I'll leave that there, and we'll come back to that later.
Sounds great.
The next thing I wanted to show you was it's a safety net thing. I've got a mountain of mediums over here, but I love, my favourite medium is this one here, and it's called Fast Medium Fixer. Okay. Now, I use this every day, and the reason I love it is because it's so versatile. Fast Medium Fixer has got a dual name, Fast Medium, so you can add it to your paints to speed up the drying process, but I use it for this second part of the name, the fixer part. Now, what does that mean? In effect, when I draw on my canvas, okay, I can rub that off. The drawing part of it is not fixed. Now I get some of this stuff and I decanter that into a small container, and you can see it's beautiful and milky like, gorgeous, easy, lovely consistency. And I'm going to put that over the area of my drawing.
So it dries clear?
Dries perfectly clear. It comes out lovely and milky, and it dries within mere minutes.
Yep.
And I'm using a lovely soft brush, a golden nylon, a lovely and soft brush. Put that on, and within mere minutes, that'll be dry.
Okay. So
Okay.
What's the advantages then?
Right. If I seal this area, it gives me a safety net. It's really seal and save. It's like having a save button on your computer. So what happens now is I've already Fast Medium fixed this. Look what happens. I can't rub off my drawing. I've got a safety net. So it means it's there. It doesn't. I can't lose my drawing. So that's, to me, invaluable. So last time we were here, I was painting on a white palette. Yep. I've gone to a mid-grey tone now, because what it does is it helps me with my, I can see the transparency of the paint, and it helps me with my tones. And I've also, instead of using the palette over here on the side, I was constantly turning, painting here, turning here. So for my back, I've now got it in front of me, and I can paint here, and the action is really quite easy.
But this is great as well. I mean, if you look at, this actually comes out, and you can spin the whole thing around.
So we lift this up here.
Yeah, and then it just turns all the way around. How about that? I think that's amazing. It's
actually quite good. So that means then that I can actually get in and adjust my paintings if I need to as well. This was made by my Uncle Peter. I came up with this idea and said, could you do this? And he's gone and made this up for me.
We love Uncle Peter.
Thank you, Uncle Peter. So back to my colours. The colours haven't changed. I've still got
the black,
my carbon black. I've got a phthalo blue. Okay, I've got French ultramarine blue. This is magenta. It's a gorgeous quinacridone magenta. This is cad red, a scarlet. This one here is transparent red oxide. This one here is a beautiful yellow ochre. And this one, cadmium yellow deep. I love this colour. And this one here is a transparent yellow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to paint the hair section on here and just show you basically why I seal that with Fast Medium Fixer. I'm going to go in and start off and paint a dark to start with. so that I can get a value sense. So in and around here is a lovely dark. So as soon as I put this in, I can actually now judge my values according to, this is the darkest dark area, this is a light area. So I can actually go ahead and paint all this. So let's put in some of these darks. Now, an oil painter would have a mountain of time for blending. With the interactive paints, we can control that amount of blending time, so I don't have to blend all day long. Okay, getting to this stage here where I'm going to put some beautiful warmth into here, and I get to the end, and I think, it's not going right. I don't like it. What I can do is, I've already got my seal and save, my fast medium fixer on. I can wipe this straight back off.
So, are you kidding?
And
so
I can go right back to the drawing. And because I've got my fast medium fixer on there, I don't disturb anything that's underneath it. It's a seal and save. And that's the part I love. It means that I can do an eye, for example, and then seal it. Put fast medium fixer just on that eye. Seals it. Means I can't ever lose it again. And then I can repaint over the top of it. So the advantage of it is, for me, that I can paint wet over dry, or I can keep it open as long as I want to, and I can blend. So that to me is the beauty of this product. Now I'm going to repaint that again, and we'll get it to a stage that I can then seal the hair.
Okay, but great technique, isn't it?
Look, I find it so liberating. I love this beautiful warmth that's on the outside here. I'm going to really push that with a little bit of cad yellow and cad red, and get some lovely orange light bounce back in.
As an oil artist myself, and you know, I painted some quite large paintings too, but you're obviously on the move a lot. You're painting Ida and some of the other really well-known celebrities in Australia, so this has got to be
that's the other advantage with the acrylics. Those guys can only afford so much time. They donate so much time for me to go and meet them and paint them. And what I found with oil painting, to cut an oil painting down to Sydney and bring it back home again, it was just mission impossible. Whereas with the acrylics, because I was in control of the drying time, I could actually go down, paint sections, seal it off, and it was just so much easier. It was just beautiful. Beautiful to do.
And also, you look at your work like this, and obviously this is a picture of a woman that you love more than anything else in the world, but a lot of this comes down to inspiration too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's, I can remember that we've screened up a picture of a Julian Ashton picture at the local museum here that you actually went in, and were privileged enough to sit beside the picture and then reignite it again through your own.
Isn't that amazing? Over in Europe, we travelled, lucky enough to be travelling over in Europe, and you go to an art gallery over there and you see people all around the beautiful big museums with the easels setting up and painting. In Australia, we don't do that. Yet up at our gallery here, because we were artists, honoured to be artist in residence up there, they actually said, would you like to pick a painting from the collection and paint it? And yes, I was lucky enough to have an original Julian Ashton there, which I love. It's a beautiful painting called The Awakening, and I was lucky enough to copy that. And it was just so much fun. It was just beautiful.
Another one of the great products that Graeme actually puts out is the heavy gel gloss, and you said you're going to put some of this on for the hair. Explain how that actually works.
The heavy gel, to me, is a lovely way to make my paint thicker. So I'm going to put thick paint onto my canvas. It goes on, so you dip straight out of this, and let's say I'm working on the hair at the moment. I want to give my hair texture, and I'm trying to get, if you like, an impasto feel to this paint now. Now there is a lot of body in the acrylics anyway, but this is only to add further texture. Now it goes on lovely and thick and cloudy, but it will dry crystal clear. So now what I want to do is I want to do some glazing, and I need a clean area to do that. What I want to do is I want to use fast medium fixer again. All right, but I'm going to use it as a glazing medium. And I know that there are other mediums that do that. There is actually a glazing medium over there, a glazing liquid.
Okay.
But I'm just going to show you that this will do it, because I'm going to use it, the fast medium part of it. So I want this to dry fast so I can then do another layer over the top of it. So I'm just going to squeeze out a warm and a cool area where I'm going to be mixing. And what I've got, if you like, I've got two puddles. One is going to be my cools and one is going to be my warm.
Okay.
So I'm going to dive into a lovely phthalo blue and I'm going to add it into here, pick it up, and I want to coat this in all over.
Still pretty rich, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that for a colour. And I love what it does. It just mixes in, just beautiful. And I can put some of that on there and spread it around. It does its thing, which is great. Now I want to go, because the whole painting's based about warm versus cool, I want to go over to the warm side of my palette now and put this on over here. Now these are, if you like, glazes. They're just beautiful veils of colour. All I'm doing is really putting an undercoating on that will then dry really fast, and then I can go over and paint. In here is this gorgeous yellow, and I'm going to mix that in with my fast medium fixer. Now I can paint over the whites of the candles, because if I needed to, I've got that safety net on. I can bring that white back if I need to.
Voila.
Voila.
Ta-da.
In here it goes lovely, lovely and red. And put that in so it's lovely and rich and vibrant. These will all be downplayed because I'm going to put another, if you like, a glaze of darks over the top of it. And again, I'm cooling it down because it is a shadow area. And I'm going to go to around about a diagonal. It's there, it's in my reference material. Now, really what I do is, there's a little bit of light bounce just in this plate. I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to put a little bit of warmth in there. I don't want it to be stark white. So if you can give me 5 minutes, we'll come back and I'll put the darks on for you.
That sounds fantastic. All right, dried off. Where do you go?
Right on.
Sensation.
Beautiful. All right, so within minutes, because the fast medium, it really does, it feels tacky, but it's dry. Nothing's going to come off on my hand.
Yep.
What I'm going to do now is I want to try and create the atmosphere that it is at night time. It's dark, and I want to really push this beautiful glow that's happening around the candles, and then I'm going to try and advance the figure and push the background back. At the moment, this is screaming at me because it's so colourful.
Sure.
So now I'm going to use the same method, the glazing method. I'm going to emphasise my darks, my lights, and I'm going to try and pull this painting together so it resembles the atmosphere or the effect light had on matter.
Fantastic.
When we took the photo.
Okay. You know, just recapping, I mean, I use a number of the Atelier interactive products myself, even the Free Flow. And then obviously with Jim, who is sort of like the Colonel Sanders or the quiet scientist of paint.
He's an amazing guy. We were lucky enough to meet the guy in his studio. It was an absolute honour, and we felt very privileged. At the same time, very humble. We were lucky enough to see the factory and these huge vats of paint. Because I love this product, I've met a hero. I met a person that I generally respect in this world. So it's just beautiful, beautiful stuff.
And he definitely has changed the landscape of art for many, many people.
It's great.
Many people.
Now I just push this in here, and I don't mind that textured look because it can create the illusion of light in there. I actually think that I took the dark too far in this light area. I'm just going to bring back the light, go back in and bring out the light again.
Beautiful.
Okay, and the last chink of light on the candlesticks again.
Voila.
Voila. All right, just before I pull the tape off, I have to show you this brush thing. Can I do that?
Let's have a look.
Here we go. So, take this.
This is the incredible brush.
Incredible brush cleaner.
And it's a
Isn't that amazing?
It's a brand new brush.
Isn't that incredible? Yeah. So I love that product before, and it takes paint out of your clothes. It's really,
it's amazing.
It's great stuff. It's really brilliant.
Okay.
All right, I'll take the tape off, but I just want to talk to you about finishing off a painting.
Right.
So now with the white border around it, can you see the effect of light, you know? And I still wanted to play on this beautiful cool and this warm. I can now tweak that if I wanted to. Now, if I was to get this to a gallery level, like this is becoming a gallery painting, what I would do is I would fix it, fast, medium, fix. I would put a coat of that on it. And then what I'd do is I'd make it so that it was all the same gloss. So in this case, I take my painting back to a matte varnish, a matte look. So I use this is a water solvent matte varnish. So I'd put a couple of coats of that on it. And again, it's so liquid, it's very similar to the fast medium fixer. And then if I wanted to turn it into I'll leave that there. If I wanted to turn it into an oil lookalike, what I can do is I can put a solvent-based varnish on it. Yeah. And this comes in invisible, which in this case will be matte. And then it's after that satin and then gloss. Okay. And so then this is actually then solvent, so you've got to wash your brushes out in terps after that. Yeah. But it gives it a really hard enamel, nearly like a nail polish finish.
That's fantastic. Well, another fantastic day. I mean, part of I think the legacy of today, and that's really what it is, it's a legacy of education. And the fact is that a lot of people will sit down and play with these paints, but not really, and the mediums, and not really know what they do or what they're for. So today really was one of those shows that Barry and Lucy have really graciously given their time for to do this, but sensational stuff, mate. Really,
Thank you.
Really appreciate
Look,
it.
They're great products.
Yeah, I mean, they speak for themselves.
They make it easy.
Yeah, absolutely they do. Now, if we want to see your work?
If you want to see our work, you can go to our website, obviously, which is mccannfineart.net.au, or at the moment a gallery in Sydney is really promoting our work. Beautiful gallery, cwmgalleries.com. And please like us on Facebook. What we're going to do is put up some of this on Facebook, and if you want to, please come in and join us and like us on Facebook.
Definitely, and we've sort of created a bit of a bond with each other over the last 12 months or so. We just think Lucy and Barry are just sensational people. Once again, you can go to colourinyyourlife.com.au and see what we're doing. Our Facebook page, which is Colour in Your Life as well. We're going to head off, but before we go, what do we say?
Make sure you put some colour in your life.
So well said. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.